what do you know? This whole cancel culture thing ends up claiming one of their own. You can always backtrack and go to my old videos when I call out stuff and I say things like this are going to happen. And a lot of it is sort of in result to the response that this lady has. So let's get right into it. She's a writer for the New York Times. Pretty standard, right, in terms of politics, social approaches. Fairly standard. Further what you'd expect from a leftist. I've deleted offensive tweets from when I was in college nearly a decade ago. And obviously people are posting some of the old things that she said. Had some interesting things to say about other races, as well as sexualities. Let's say that. And here we are. My buddy Phil from All That Remains says, stop supporting cancel culture and it'll be fine. And that is true. But this should have been an obvious thing. This was obviously going to happen. That when you create this nonsensical culture where you're so obsessed with trying to derail people's lives based on silly things they said, especially things that they may have said decades ago on positions they might not even hold anymore, but because everybody's itching for this type of attention. And for whatever reason, it's this crab in a bucket mentality where people just seem to get, definitely a lot of these blue check marks, seem to get a lot out of completely ruining the lives of the people that they disagree with from a social or political approach. Now, I've long said that all this is going to do is create a scenario, and it's not going to work out in the way that you guys think that it's going to work out, because you're going to fall victim to the same thing that you are in support of right now. So be careful. And this is what we're starting to see. A lot of these people who have been advocates of this type of culture that adopt the same political affiliations, that's the rabbit hole that we started going down. And now people are going back to try to grab their old tweets and old material and stuff. And quite often, everybody says some pretty messed up things, certainly when they're young. And now in the age of social media, certainly with this upcoming generation, so she's probably my age because she was in college 2011. I was in college 2011. So she's probably around my age. So you got our generation of people that are getting older that are, starting to grow up with teenage lives being on social media where they could post things. It's going to come back and get a lot of people. Try to tell you. This is the silly thing about the culture. Y'all should stop this. But she did. Number one thing you don't do, I just did a video on this. You do not apologize to the mob. Exactly what she did. Not going to stop anybody. Just going to really incentivize them to keep doubling down on those and spreading those tweets out and stuff. I am truly sorry. What you apologizing to the mob for? And again, this is sort of what y'all created. I've always thought it was silly to do that. Like, dude, y'all can go. It's one thing to go to somebody's old stuff if they, were an adult and they have the same positions and stuff. That's one thing. But when you're talking young folk do silly stuff. Things that certainly when they're talking amongst their friends, saying things that you guys would find offensive. Now I'm gonna have this. I just want this for the record. I'm positive, and I've already covered it. I've outed myself long ago. I've said some pretty screwed up things when I was a youngster. I'm not apologizing for any of that. It is what it is. I mean, y'all just gonna make me double down. I ain't apologizing for none of that. If I wronged somebody, that's a different thing. Now, if I wrong somebody and I was in the wrong, there's nothing for me to admit fault there. I have no problem admitting fault. What I'm not going to do is you pulling up something I said or did when I was 15 years old, thinking that that's just supposed to, like, I'm supposed, oh my God, I'm not apologizing for that. I was 15. No. Or you misunderstanding something that I said, taking something out of context. I'm not apologizing for that. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to give you that satisfaction. It's not going to work anyway. It's not going to stop you guys. A lot of you guys don't like my political and social opinions, and that's just what happens. That people try to dig up dirt on you and try to destroy you. This is the unfortunate lifestyle that we're in, where people want to dig up dirt on people and destroy them. And it's silly. Not anything anybody said recently, in recent years or anything. Just, all right, I'm going to try to destroy this person's life because they disagree with me politically. They disagree with me on a social issue. I'm going to try to ruin this person. This person's canceled. It's silly. But she made the ultimate no-no. She did the ultimate oopsie in apologizing. You don't do that. You just don't do that. But this is what you guys created. This is the culture that you guys created. And for those that still do this, going around trying to hinder people's lives because of things they said that you disagreed with in that context, trying to do that, all it takes is for a few people to get behind this idea of doing it to you. And then your life is ruined, or you have an opportunity snatched from you because of that. I don't know when y'all gonna get it. But they're not forward thinking like that. A lot of these guys are not thinking down the line and, okay, how will this affect me? It's just, well, yeah, I'm giddy. I'm ruining people's lives that I disagree with. All right. Y'all gonna learn.